streaming cyberspace into your place from the Bullring at Las Vegas. It's the Virtual Grip Network's 5th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Gargamel's Kitchen Late Model Invitational Series, Season 24. Linus Van Pelt believed that each year the great pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that is, he thinks, the most sincere. The one driver who has risen above all others has been Kenny Kibbe. With 22-point cushion in the points, Kibbe is sincere about his championship efforts. A Southern National no-show was the rock in Aiden Young's trick-or-treat bag, dropping Young well down the points. Now it's not Halloween until Snoopy takes on the Red Baron, and there is a dogfight between Brian Dean, Steven Spieth, Ribeye Joe Snyder, and Bruce Pearson for who will be the best position themselves if Kibbe gets a rock in his bag. So pull the lever on the Lazy Boy. Break into the candy you've earmarked for the 31st and enjoy the simulated short track racing action about to stream your way. From the town built on sand and broken dreams, a warm Sin City hello and welcome on this Saturday night, October 28, 2023. Ricky, Harden the Wall Harden, joins yours truly, Bill Soups, on high up in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View. We play Ryan Senator, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. All right, Ricky, last night the Bullring was not lucky for many of the racers. What kind of cards do you think the Bullring has going to deal out tonight?
Oh, boy. This thing is called a Bullring for a reason. It is a tiny little track out here just outside of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And, man, you're right. I think the cards are going to be jokers. They're not going to be nice to people.
Well, you know, Las Vegas, when you go there, you want to be lucky, but you never have to worry about luck when you're dealing with our sponsor, Gargamel's Kitchen. You know, when you're in the kitchen, you want to have a sure thing, and that's what you get from those guys. Some high-grade, food-grade, nitrous oxided providers located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Visit them at 2045 South Valencia Street or call Gargamel's Kitchen at 720-707-6178. And snap along with me now. Gargamel's Kitchen is the best. Everyone else is just the rest. All right, with our track talk out of the way and we've done our sponsor plug, let's go ahead and quickly run through the points for you. You know, with no driver making their season debut at Concord, the number of drivers who have raced at least once this season holds at 30, with 18 having raced in all 4 events. Kenny Kibbe has a pair of 4th and a 3rd to go along with his Southern National win. Opening round winner Brian Dean was 10th at Concord. Steven Spieth leads all drivers in laps led this season. A Concord 8th was enough to make Ribeye Joe Snyder the big mover. He's up 5 spots. Bruce Pearson still trying to better his opening round 7th. John Wilson gains 3 spots. It's just the opposite for Trey Bloom, who falls 3. The boss man, Lowell Jewell, still hunting his first top 5. Aiden Young Gun Young has a win at Hickory. And despite an 18th last time out, Matt Locomotionowski hangs on just inside the top 10. Now, you know, when Halloween comes around, you're always thinking about monsters. Well, let me tell you something, folks. We got a monster of a field here tonight, a full 22 drivers, but all the big names are here. You got Donnie Moore, you got Lowell Jewell, you got Aiden Young, he's back. Austin Belke, always a threat to win. Other big names include, well, J.R. Shepard, and of course our points leader, Kenny Kibbe. But, you know, Ricky, maybe the biggest news of all is Matt Hoos finishes 15th last time out. You know what that means.
He will be sitting on the pole, and that is going to be huge here at the Bullring, where it's hard to pass. There's a lot of turning. You're not going straight for very long. So I anticipate that's going to be a huge advantage as we go to the grid.
We're going to talk about the grid right now, and indeed, Hoosnators, stand up and give a cheer for your man. It is indeed Matt Hoos and his familiar number 21 starting on the pole. Ricky, he's going to be inside of the 59 of Mike Allen. Who's in row 2?
Lowell Jewell with a new number on the side of that car, number 2 tonight, starting P3. Bruce Pearson on the outside of him.
Opening round winner Brian Dean's going to start in the 5th position. He's going to be flanked by veteran Donnie Moore.
Joseph Snyder in that 39 machine starting P7. John Wilson's going to start in 8th.
You take the number 6, you flip it over, and you get 9. That's where Kurt Smith's going to start. He's going to be inside of both the 6 and the 9 on his car. Aiden Young, who starts in 10th.
Oh, man, some big names coming from this part of the field. Kenny Kibbe will be starting in 11th, and Austin Belke in 12th.
He's got a race win under his belt so far this season. I'm talking about the number 98, multi-time champion, J.R. Shepard. He'll be in the Baker Studley spot. He's going to be inside of Mr. Aggressive, number 7, Chris Davis.
Starting in the 15th spot, it's going to be Todd Liston alongside of Matt Shanowski.
Joe Segala is going to be starting in 17th. Ruben Altice in the 70 is going to be outside him in 18th.
And then you've got Jason Menda and Jeffrey Kemper. Actually, I don't think Jeffrey Kemper is on the grid, so we'll slide up the next guy.
I think Kemper got out there. I think he has to serve an end-of-line penalty, so he might be starting from the back on purpose. The last 2 drivers out there, Jeffrey Harden and Bobby Hayes, starting in the blackjack and double duck spots. Okay, we got that out of the way. Round number 5, 4 behind us, and 6 more to go after this one. Next week will mark the midway point. Mike Allen up there. We're looking to see. There's the 21 of Matt Hoos. They're shuffling around this little bit of getting the grid set up there. The pace car pulls in. Oh, careful, guys. They're getting a little bit unorganized up front. Careful now. Here we are. We're almost ready to go. Toto! Check a look. Make sure holler. Ole! We're underway at the Bullring. And indeed, Matt
trouble right away.
Spinning around. It is Lowell Jewell. They're piling in on the inside line. Shepard is involved in it. Also involved, the 39, Ribeye Joe Snyder, the butcher of Baton Rouge.
Oh, it's Deuces Wild right off the get-go. Lowell Jewell went down into turn number 1, could not get that thing woed up and couldn't get it turning. You're going to see it on the replay right here. He just pushed up the track there in the middle of 1 and 2 and went right up into the 59 machine on his outside. That was Mike Allen.
A great job from the 23 of Brian Dean to get around. Liston in the 87 had to check up to let everybody clear. I don't think he made any contact. He just lost a ton of positions. And one of the car involved in it was J.R. Shepard in the 98.
Oh, man, and taking another view at it right here, it also looks like Mike Allen took a really wide arc and came down a lot more than I think Lowell was expecting. So they really just came together pretty low on the track. Lowell didn't have to come up that much to make contact, so that's real unfortunate to see damage for some of our big shots right out of the gate.
Indeed, as we are working now lap number 3, J.R. Shepard still bringing the car. I guess he's going to keep the car out there for now.
And JR really took heavy contact from the front and the rear and just nowhere to go. He's on pit road trying to get that thing repaired right now. Not a lot of time to sit there and get damage repair here because the pace car moves around this Bullring pretty quickly, but looks like he got a little bit of repair. I still see a lot of damage, especially on the left rear and on the left front. They are bashed way in on both of the left side corners there, so we'll see how that thing holds up. Hopefully the wheel is still straight in his hands.
With that said, let's go ahead and dial up the 39 of Joe Snyder, the butcher of Baton Rouge. He was caught in that incident. Right now, he's behind the pace car. He's going to get the wave around. Let's see how that car is feeling as we talk to Joe here in a minute. Joe, we'll get you real quick. Pretty big bang on the front and the back. Is the car drivable?
It feels all right at this speed. We'll see what happens when I get a little faster.
Did you get any practice in on this track?
Oh, yeah.
It was a nightmare last night. Well, good luck to you, man.
Thank you, man.
We'll make that a quick interview as the lights are off the pace car. He's got to work his way around and get back underway. Well, Ricky, that didn't take very long. We got a few laps down. Not a lot of changing going on up front. Brian Dean up a couple spots now on the inside of row 3. Matt, who's still in control.
That's right. Here we go, coming through turns 3 and 4, and the green flag is back in the air. Who's hard on the loud pedal and gets cleared to the front. Mike Allen trying to get down there in front of the 23 machine. Looks like he'll do it. Top 3, single file going through turns 1 and 2.
Brian Dean with that opening round win, racing up front right now. Now stuck on the outside is Pearson in the yellow and green. I guess it's green and black, number 22, what I've been told. Donnie Moore racing in 5th position. Little battle going a little farther back. A lot of veterans there. There's Kurt Smith. Nice side-by-side paddle, John Wilson. And on the inside, here's your points leader. Making the top side work early is the 14 of Kenny Kibbe. Started in 11th, is already up 3 spots.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of cars up there on the outside groove. So let's see if he's going to be looking after his tires well enough to be there at the end. This is a long race at a little track. You've got to keep that tire temperature down if you can. He's on the outside of that 69 machine. Both those guys are real strong in the early going, but Aiden Young's going to clear him coming off turn 2.
Yeah, trying to roll around the outside of John Wilson is one thing. Trying to make the outside work when you got the likes of Aiden Young below you. Well, that's a whole nother story. Now here comes another big name into the mix. Kenny Kibbe. We got a lot of talent racing back here for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Young, Kibbe, and Belke all in the mix. Mr. Aggressive started in 14th. So we got a yellow flag. I think it involves Menda involved in this one, maybe, and a little bit of help from Liston.
Yeah, let's see here. It looks like Jason Menda going down into turn number 3 gets a little bump in the rear end and goes spinning. No harm, no foul. I think everybody gets away with that with not a lot of damage, but just a quick punt in the rear, and actually Jason Menda towed back to the pit road.
Let's take another look at it if we can from the window of the number 8 of Jeffrey Kemper. He was first on the scene. He had a stop-and-go penalty, an end-of-line penalty, and that's why he's back there in the mix. Boy, things really open up for him, and he does a nice job of avoiding trouble. Here we go. You ride on board. That, folks, you make the call. Do you go high? Do you go low? Worked out well.
Woo! Perfect.
All right, Ricky, who do you want to talk to?
Why don't we talk to the 14 machine? Kenny Kibbe was trying to work that outside. Let's see how that was working out for him and what he thinks about that. We've caught up with Kenny Kibbe. How was the outside groove for you there on that restart?
It was not great. I mean, it's more so just hard to judge, how to enter the corner. I'm trying to give the guy on the inside room, but also try to optimize my corner too. So it's just, I think it's got potential. It's hard for me to hit my marks right now.
Kenny and Soup, last night in the SK Modifieds, every driver we talked to said, man, it was like driving on ice. They had nothing but complaints about the track. How's it feel in the late model?
That little run up top, it was a little bit on the loose side, but overall I think it's got pretty good grip.
Okay. Well, hopefully have a better run than we did last night. It was a yellow fest. We got one out of the way. We're going to go green from here. Good luck, Kenny.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Well, that's the second one already tonight, but we'll see how we can do. We're already 15 laps in with the second caution under our belts, but hopefully we stay under that 10 mark. We're to green right here.
That's it. We're getting them out of the way early here. All right. Well, the good news for all these cautions is Matt Hoos has been in the lead, and he really hasn't had to been challenged up there because most of the laps he's led are under yellow, which just means he'll have more rubber when it comes to the end when it's racing. And again, the faster drivers are having a hard time getting to him because you can't pick up any positions when you don't get to race in anger. Let's run down the field, look for a big mover for you. So I look through my timing and scoring. How about a little tip of the hat to Ruben Altice? Racing down there in 12th right now. He started in 18th. He's up 6th position. He's the big mover of everybody. I think he's been able to avoid trouble.
Absolutely. I think just missing all those spun out cars has helped his cause quite a bit. And Jeffrey Harden's also up about the same amount of spots. Looks like 5 spots right there. So both of them moving forward, just making it through this wrecks.
Time to go racing now. As Ricky's corrected me, we had 2 yellows, so we go under green for what will be the 4th time. The start and then 3 restarts now. Matt Hoos.
Trouble right off the get-go.
But they save it. They scramble. Everybody continues to go in the right direction, but we're not done yet. We got one more corner to get through. They are really piling up. Tip of the hat to the 59 of Mike Allen. He started that lap in 2nd place. He's going to finish it in 9th, but the point is he kept the car going straight.
An incredible save from Mike Allen, and if you look right behind him, you've got J.R. Shepard on the inside of Mr. Aggressive Chris Davis, and he's going to clear him. That car does not look too hurt so far tonight, and that's good news for him. Maybe he'll have a shot to get up toward the front, but man, what a save from Mike Allen. That was beautiful.
Matt Hoos is running away with it, but honestly, the excitement is back here in the mid-pack, way back. They're starting to get single file now. You got to watch the 98. The 98 is working incredibly hard trying to get going. He was caught up in that first incident. You heard Ricky talk about it. I think the car feels pretty good. He's just worked his way on the inside of Mike Allen. Move Shepard up now into 9th. And he's right in the mix of those big names we were talking about. Next in front of him is Aiden Young.
That's right, and he's doing something really amazing right here. He gets out of the corners really well, carries that speed down the straightaway and looks to the inside, but the caution flag is back out for the third time tonight. Looks like out of turn 4, we've got a little bit of trouble.
Oh, it's Jeffrey Unhappy Kemper on this one as that number 8 got turned around. Don't know if he had any help into it. Oh, I think the Butcher of the Baton Rouge might have had his cleaver on that one as Joe Snyder got into him.
Yeah, Joe got in that corner way deeper than Jeffrey Kemper, and I think Jeffrey caught him off guard with his wide apex down into the corner, and the contact was made, and around goes the 8.
Yeah, Kemper just trying to get down to the apex there, and I don't know if he knew that. I don't know how he could know that Snyder was there.
Yeah, Snyder was coming from a long way back. I don't think he saw that coming.
Well, we got ourselves a yellow flag, so while the racing is stopped, it gives us an opportunity to talk to another driver. So we'll see who Ricky wants to talk to this time.
Yeah, why don't we talk to that 59 machine of Mike Allen? That was a beautiful save he had. I want to know what he did to hang on to that car. Mike, that last restart was quite the adventure for you. Walk us through what happened.
I don't know if I chopped him or not. I thought I gave him room, but I guess not.
Tell us about that save, man. You did a really good job holding on to it, and then you found yourself in the middle of a bunch of cars. How'd you do that?
I just got on the brake a little bit, try to regain control, and then keep it straight. Try not to hit anybody.
Mike, this is Soup. Is this your favorite car? Is the late model if you had to race a car on ovals, is this the car you prefer, or is there something else you feel better in?
Yeah, this is my favorite.
Well, man, right now you started on the front row, but you're still mid-pack. Good luck to you. We keep an eye on you.
Thank you.
Man, a few words, but man, did he hold on to that car, and wanted to highlight that because that was a really good job, and middle of 4 wide on the backstretch at the Bullring is not a position you want to be in.
Well, it's possible he didn't realize the chaos that was going on around him as he was probably focused keeping the car going straight. He didn't realize that he was surrounded by 1 or 2 cars on each side. All right, we are going to be working lap number 28. Hoosnaders, are you happy? He's led the entire way. We're talking about Matt Hoos. Matt Hoos has championships in this car. I'd like to see maybe he can get a win. Been a long time since we've seen Matt Hoos in victory lane.
Well, don't look in the rearview mirror, but Brian Dean up 3 spots in second place, and on the second row, Kenny Kibbe is up 7 spots, starting on the second row here.
Indeed, on the outside, I'm looking to see where Belke was also making a move. Belke a little farther down as I look for him. He's had some issues. He was racing up there for a while. Okay, we're going green one more time. A great jump from Hoos. Now the battle's going to be for second. The double duck in there, Bruce Pearson, looks like he's going to get second. Watch the top line. Can they make it work? Maybe Kibbe could make it work in the 14, but the problem is he's got Brian Dean in front of him, and Dean doesn't seem to like that top line. That's going to let Smith go ahead and secure third position as the inside line continues to roll. Good news for drivers like Wilson and J.R. Shepard also on the inside line coming up.
Yeah, that's right. Kenny Kibbe kind of boxed in there on that top lane. I'm sure that's really frustrating, but for J.R. Shepard and for John Wilson, that was a perfect scenario because they're just going to clear those guys right into the top 5.
More big names are down there. Young is also in the inside line, and Donnie Moore is coming as well. Oh, Brian Dean had worked so hard to get up front, then he got stuck. The odd and even ferries did not do him any favors, put him on the even number, and he continues to drop. Kibbe now finally gets underneath into the inside line, which means he'll be able to tuck in behind Donnie Moore, and Kibbe's going to get to go around Brian Dean. Meanwhile, up in front, cooking with hot fish grease is Matt Hoos.
Yeah, Matt Hoos has just run away with this thing right now, and I think if he looks back through that little box that tells you where everybody's at, he sees J.R. Shepard's not very far back, so he's trying to run away and hope this thing goes green for a little while so he can get away. Man, Kenny Kibbe getting back down in line there a couple laps ago. That was a pretty aggressive move, and you saw Chris Davis behind him. That's Mr. Aggressive himself trying to fill that hole, and everybody gets away with it. So Brian Dean's still on the outside, and the 24 of Austin Belke picks up a spot on him.
doubt about Kibbe had worked so hard to get up there, but the problem is right now, drivers like Pearson, Wilson, Young, and Kibbe all realize they're sitting on spots 2, 4, 6, and 8. You don't want to be on that outside position because of the yellow flag. With that said, let's look at Kibbe. Kibbe says, oh my goodness, he is on Donnie Moore tighter than a new pair of shoes on a rainy day, is Kenny Kibbe, trying to find some way around the 26.
Yeah, he was right on him down the back straightaway. He's going to get another run coming out of turn 2 right here. Looking right at the back end of the 26 machine. Doesn't get quite the run that he was looking for. Nowhere to go, but he's going to hook that little rumble strip on the bottom, and it's going to try to peek to the inside going into turn 1.
Now I think he has it done, and while Kibbe was making that move on Donnie Moore, we can report that Shepard was able to get around John Wilson. So Shepard is a-coming. My goodness, he started in 13th. He was involved in an incident. He's worked his way up to 4th position. There are no bigger fan of Bruce Pearson and Kurt Smith right now than Matt Hoos. He would love to see those guys hold up Shepard as long as they can. And look right now, as Smith goes to the inside of Pearson. Nowhere for Shepard to go there, but that inside line from Smith might be the opportunity Shepard needs to get the pass made on Pearson, and it is.
Exactly right. That top lane not too kind to anybody right now. J.R. Shepard clears into 3rd place. And here comes the 75 machine as well underneath the 22 machine. That's John Wilson. He's on the inside. Let's see if we can clear him through 3 and 4. Don't look now, but Aiden Young, oh, that 69 machine is coming. 75 got really sideways through 3 and 4 right there.
Did right in front of Young, who had a great run, and they had to catch his breath and whoa up a bit. But now it looks like the pass is going to be made. And also coming along is the 14-year point leader of Kenny Kibbe. So Kibbe has worked his way up from 11th to 7th. Let's call it the 6th position now as he gets underneath Pearson.
Yep, that outside lane. We've talked about it over and over again, not being kind. Oh, 98 machine up in 2nd place now. He was just to the inside of Kurt Smith and got really sideways through 3 and 4 himself. Those rumble strips, if you can get down on the flat there, it's a good way to de-wedge the car and get it turning through the center. But you also might kick the rear end a little farther than you intended, and I think that's what happened to J.R. Shepard.
What is so funny is Shepard had that car so far sideways, not only did it not go around, but he lost a ton of momentum, but somehow he's able to get it straight. As Kurt Smith goes into the wall there a little bit, and now he's moved it up into 2nd. All right, the interval between Hoos and Shepard here, working lap number 46. You can see it, 1.364 seconds. You little soldiers in Soup's clipboard army, mark that down and watch Shepard start to run down Hoos.
That's right. Behind them, we've got a battle going on between Aiden Young and Kenny Kibbe going down into turn number 1. Looks like Kenny Kibbe's going to get that move made. And again, Young gets trapped on that outside lane. Here comes the 75. That's John Wilson to the inside. Real tight racing through 3 and 4 right there. But Wilson's going to have the edge at the start-finish line.
Young is notorious for saving his stuff, and you just don't see him get passed on the track very often. And Kibbe made it happen, and then I think also capitalizing then on the opportunity will be the 75 of Wilson getting in there, and Pearson also would like to get that spot back. Boy, Young really working, and here comes Belke. We talked about Belke. Belke looking to go 3 wide. Oh no, I don't like this.
That was smart. He thought better of it in turn 3 right there. You know, Bruce was going to give him a little bit of space, but man, I just don't think they could have made it through that entire corner 3 wide, and I'm not sure that Aiden Young had any idea that they were going to be 3 wide there. But Belke to the inside of Aiden Young, he's just trapped on that outside lane, Young is, and Belke clears it.
And not a lot of sympathy for Young. They know he's fast, so nobody lets him in, and I'm talking about Jeffrey Harden. As he started in 21st position, Harden all the way up to 9th. He's got a great-looking Elvis paint scheme out there tonight. It looks like it also might be a little bit of orange going on, little Halloween colors. What better do you want? You go to Las Vegas and you got Elvis on your hood.
And doesn't get a lot better than that, does it? Jeffrey Harden, our biggest mover of the race right now, up 13 spots. J.R. Shepard up 11 spots as well. So the two of those guys moving to the front. The cream rises to the top, as we like to say. And there's a little bit of battling going on, a couple spots behind Harden, and it's Aiden Young on that top lane. They're wrecking behind that. Brian Dean gets a little tag from the 39 and goes around in 3 and 4.
Boy, the Butcher has all knives out here today as he gets together with former winner Brian Dean, collected in that mix, as well as the 7 car of Chris Davis.
we take a look at it from overhead right here. You can see the 39 takes a really shallow entry into turn 3, and you just can't do that because drivers are taking a wide arc to make that center roll a little bit better, and you just surprise them when you pull to the inside and make that really it's a dive bomb move, and no one can possibly prepare for that.
There you see Ribeye Joe and the 39 getting there. And they go around. We did have a nice run, and finally Davis putting the final nail in the coffin of Dean's wood box.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there, and that's not going to be great for him. We did cross the halfway point on that run, so a good chunk of the race under us. They go by fast when we're under green flag here at this track.
Ricky, who you want to talk to?
Let's talk to Aiden Young. He got trapped on the outside right there and fell back quite a few spots. Let's see, he's in a spot that looks a little better on this restart. Aiden Young, you got trapped on the outside and you weren't going the right way. How do you feel about what's coming up?
Yeah, I don't really know right now. Just trying to hold myself up front and just trying to not direct the thing.
Aiden?
Go ahead.
You're notorious for saving your tires. It was not a matter of just, it's so unusual to see you actually get past on the track. They got underneath you, huh?
Yeah, I guess I've kind of been off since this morning, since I was fighting a fire this morning, so I guess I'm a little bit off tonight.
Right. We'll give you that one. Saving some lives. Like you got your priorities straight. All right, man. We'll keep an eye on you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Ricky, they do let him drive the fire truck, though, man.
Oh, well, that's really good. He's a heck of a driver. So driving the fire truck is a great thing for him. I think he's going to like this restart a little bit better. It'll be on the inside. Maybe he can protect the left rear corner just a little bit better on this one and go toward the front.
You guys in the New Hampshire area there where Ricky, when there's a fire call, go out there and find yourself a good position. Watch him hit the apex on the corners there with the fire truck. All right, Matt Hoos, he's led the entire way. Now here's big news. Shepard's going to be stuck on the outside, and he's got veteran Kurt Smith behind him. If I was Hoos, I'd talk back to Smith and try to get a little bit of a rhythm going on so they can get that inside line rolling, and maybe they can drop Shepard a little bit. Boy, that's a pretty paint scheme there for Shepard. You got a bright, beautiful blue number 98. And it's pink. Okay, so for all you people doing the drinking game, every time Soup misidentifies a color, Harden is in gold, not orange, and Shepard is in pink, not blue. So take 2 sips of whatever you got there next to you.
And Shepard doing a great job to get down in line on that restart. Who's got too good of a restart, couldn't keep the 6 car on his rear bumper, and that let JR Shepard get in line. And Shepard just gets such a great run coming off of turn 2. He's looking to the bottom, trying to take the lead from the 21 machine down into turn number 3. 21 Matt Who's clears straight behind him. He's going to cross under him, coming down the front straightaway.
That was pretty. Now, can he finish the job? He's on the inside. This is good news for Kibby. Kibby is on as tight as he can be. Kibby back there in the popcorn position, watching the show in front of him. He'd like to get tight behind the 21 and see if the point leader can get around Shepard. It's going to be hard to pass Shepard unless you have a little excuse to be able to do it, and the 21 just might be the excuse that the 14's looking for.
Now, you see right here, they're running each other extremely tight through 3 and 4. No room given for error, and that's okay. These guys know what they're doing up front. And JR Shepard slid up a little bit right there in the center of 1 and 2 and could not get off of turn 2. That gives Kibby the second position and opens the door for the 6 machine.
What I've learned about from Shepard is the car is really fun to race right after a yellow flag because the tires are cold. I think he might have been making hay while the sun was shining there, but now the tires are warming up, and now the same thing that happened to Aiden Young has happened to JR Shepard's tuck on the top side, and there is no sympathy, not a tear going to be shed for the 98 stuck up there, and Kibby now will not let him in. I'm sorry, Belke won't let him in.
That's right, Belke going to fill that gap. He thought about going 3 wide again there on the back straightaway and thought better of it. But yeah, I think once the tires get up to temperature, that damage starts to show up a little bit more for JR Shepard as well. I think he's having to put a little bit more wheel in it than he normally would with that damage, and that's just overheating the tires even more when you get trapped on the outside lane. It's going to be hard to make anything happen up there. If he can keep it down to the bottom, he'll be all right.
let's turn our attention back to the front. The good news for Matt Hoos is he fended off Shepard, and Shepard has fallen away. The bad news is he's got the point leader behind him now, Kenny Kibbe, and Kibbe looks to be really sharp out there. Hoos had led the entire time. Yes, he got past a little bit, but he got it back before the lap was done, so iRacing is crediting him with leading all 67 laps so far. Kibbe would like to put an end to that streak.
That stat line does not tell the whole story of this race at all. It's been a heck of a battle for the lead over these last few laps, and it's getting hot and heavy once again. Kenny Kibbe looking all over the back end of that 21 machine, looking for a place to go, and look at the run he's getting right here off of turn number 4. Kind of dies out. I thought he was going to have a little bit more, but he didn't have it. Going down the back straightaway, let's see if he can do it again. No, that 21 machine really gets off the corner well.
Matt Hoos out there doing a little $3 bill racing. Very hard to pass right now, with Kibbe right behind him, looking for a way around, taking a different racing line, trying to find a way, trying to get a drive off the inside. He has a good exit off at 2. Let's see if he can turn it into in the nose inside of 3. Nope. Let's see if he gets a good exit out of 4. You can think that, well, Ricky, I think Kibbe clearly faster.
He is all over the back bumper of the Hoos machine. Every time I look at him going down the straightaway, there's less than a car length between him. And here he is again. Let's see if he can get a run. He fell back just about 1 car length, and he hasn't been able to close it quite yet. But when he gets too close, watch him start to hook that flat and try to rotate that corner and see if he can get to the bottom coming out of the corner. Right now, trying to close the gap. There he goes. Gets a little bit of that apron, tries to turn it a little bit, and it gets him a little bit closer, but he's just not close enough.
Who's tight on the inside like a shrunken pair of Fruit of the Looms. Kibbe trying to find any way around right now. He's got to hold him off for another 25 laps. Kibbe looking to do. Now, Kibbe will not give him a little bit of a bump. That's not Kibbe's style. He's going to try to do it legitimately and make Hoos use up his stuff. You got to think, though, that Hoos seems to be running a more smooth line than the 14th right now. If anybody's using up their stuff, you got to think it's the 14th.
Yeah, it sure looks that way, and he's trying different lines. Every time he gets to the corner, it feels like he's doing a little bit different arc, trying to apex at just a little bit different position. And the last couple times he's gone a little higher, and I don't think it's worked very well for him. But this lap, he kept it a little tighter, and he's getting a little closer again. So we'll see if he can get back to that back bumper and what he tries to do with his line when he gets there. We're riding on board with Kenny Kibbe right now. And look at him just losing a little bit of ground right through 1 and 2, and the 21 machine gets out to about the biggest lead he's had in the last 5 laps.
We talked about it when we were calling the grid. We thought it was big news that Matt Hoos, who finished 15th last time out of Concord, the way they invert the grid, that he wasn't going to be put on the front. We knew he'd be tough to get around, and right now he's making the commentators sound like Nostradamus as Kibbe cannot get around. We're going to drop back a little bit because I want to talk about Belke in the 24. He's slowed down a little bit. He was really working on the back of the 75 of John Wilson, who's having a great run. Wilson started in 8th position, is racing in 4th right now, and is really not being challenged from Belke. Probably Belke's biggest worry might be the guy behind him and Shepard, as they continue to race a little farther back. Nothing going on up front. This is the exciting battle right now.
Yeah, and Shepard is sitting in that 6th position, and I think he wants to get into that 5th position in case there's a restart. We saw what happened when he got trapped on the outside right there, but he's just not having a good time getting it to rotate right here when the tires get all the way up to temperature. He's really pushing right there off of turn 2, right up to the outside wall. We got a little bit of a side-by-side battle going on further back.
Yeah, we're going to make Brandy happy. That is Jeffrey Harden's wife. Well, Brandy, your man just got around Aiden Young, which is a pretty amazing thing to do. Young's not having it his way today. He said he's a little bit off. I guess he's understandable. He was out there fighting fires. He's probably a little exhausted. Todd Liston having a nice run in 9th as well. But Harden started to make a run.
Yeah, again, we mentioned earlier, Harden up 13 spots. He's still in that 8th position. That's where he restarted last restart. I think he lost a couple being on an outside lane, but he's made up a couple now, back up to that 8th position. I don't think it's where he wants to be if a yellow flag comes out, but hey, he's made a lot of hay coming through this field. So great job to my brother from another mother.
Ooh, shut your mouth there talking yellow flags. We got ourselves a nice green flag run. This is such a dichotomy to what we saw last night in the SK Modifieds. The SK Modifieds did not get along with this track. It was oil and water, but right now, these drivers have seemed to lock in, and everybody has about a 4 or 5 car length lead between each other. There's really not much battling going on out there. We may roll this thing all the way through.
We'll see about that. Kurt Smith and John Wilson up here in 3rd and 4th position. We're having a great run. We were just looking at them just a minute ago before we went to the side-by-side battle back here between the 69 of Aiden Young and the 31 machine of Matt Shinosky. Those guys are just trapped side by side with one another, and Shinosky gets the pass done on Aiden Young.
Shinosky involved in that early incident as well, but I think he's running out there real nice. He's got the beautiful Penelope blue machine there, and I think that is a pink number 31 on top of him.
That's right. We got a lot of pink out there. Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, of course, so we always get a lot of the extra pink. It's pretty. Adds a little bit more depth to the field, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Makes me want to take a sip of Pepto-Bismol. You know, I think Kibby may have I got to use my phrasing carefully here. I had one term in mind. I'll use a different one. Used up his stuff trying to get around Hoos, and there's nothing left there now.
Yeah, I think he overheated the tires. He really tried some really unorthodox lines when he got right on the back end of the 21 machine. I think he was trying to do some different arcs to see if he could get a good run off the corner because there was nothing there for him. And man, he's really started to fall off the back end there of the 21. Matt Hoos out to a big lead now with less than 10 laps to go.
Yeah, our director has found a nice little battle he's looking at there. That's Brian Dean, your opening round winner, going around the inside of Aiden Young again. My goodness, if I didn't actually interview Aiden Young and know that he was out there racing, I think it'd be an imposter out there because that does not look like the 69 that I have come to know. And Donnie Moore makes the pass as well. And next, how about Joe Snyder out there? Now, this is really important. I'm going to drill down here something a little deeper. Maybe this is a little bit of sandbagging for Aiden Young, because right now, he's in 14th.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen some of that action going on. He wasn't having a great night. He was running there around the 10th spot. And, maybe a little bit of strategy to put himself in a better spot next week when he's not having the best of nights tonight. Who knows? But we're down to less than 5 laps remaining, and there's not a battle for the lead up front. Matt Hoos still leads it over Kenny Kibbe. And what a great run. I talked about earlier, Kurt Smith in that 6 car and John Wilson in the 75. Those two have had a great night, very uneventful, and hanging out inside the top 5 and really just holding their own, not being pressured at all from Austin Belke in that 5th position behind them.
Okay, there's a lot to talk about. I would like to talk about who's going to try to back their way down into 15th position. Right now, it's Aiden Young in 14th and Bruce Pearson in 15th. But really, let's turn our attention up front. He sat in the booth with me a few times here over the last couple months. We're talking about Matt Hoos. He loves this car. He got the advantage to start on the pole. We thought it would be something that he would be a force to be reckoned with. He's got the white flag right now. Inside of every driver is one perfect race. It's something you can't be taught. You have to remember it. Matt Hoos wins round number 5. Kenny Kibbe, your points leader, will take second. A great run from Kurt Smith, up 6 spots to get the final podium spot. And who gets that 15th position? Well, look for Bruce Pearson of the 22B starting on the pole when we go to Kern County next week. It's going to be good news for all you Pearson fans out there. All right, the racing is over, but you've watched these broadcasts enough to know our broadcast is not done. We're going to take a short break. I'm going to have a sip of Pepto-Bismol for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to some of the drivers, run down the entire finish order before we put a lock on the game. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Bullring at Las Vegas Speedway and the Virtual Grip Network's 5th round coverage of the Gargamel's Kitchen Late Model Invitational Series. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. It was wire to wire, and I can't wait to talk to him in the interviews. We're talking about the Hoosinator's favorite, Matt Hoos, as he gets a win. Our 5th different winner of the season so far, folks. Kenny Kibbe, your points leader, goes from 11 to 2nd. He's going to stretch that gap a little bit more to his competition. Kurt Smith had a nice run for 3rd. Austin Belke was up and down and up and down. 12th to 4th is what he'll have to settle for. J.R. Shepard, the same as Belke. He makes a nice comeback after getting freight trained on the outside for a 5th. Ruben Altice. Oh, my goodness, Ruben, I apologize for a very quiet 6th place from you. Up 12 spots. Don't know if we had you on screen at all. We'll do better next time. Jeffrey Harden, we had him out there, 21 to 7th. Nice run. Matt Shanowski got involved in an incident. He'll finish in 8th. Todd Liston in 9th, and then rounding out your top 10, your opening round winner, Brian Dean. Ricky?
Johnny Moore finished in P11. Joseph Snyder in the 39 comes home P12. Aiden Young fell back quite a bit there at the end, finishes in 13th position. And Bruce Pearson finishes 14th with Chris Davis in 15th. And big news there. He'll be your pole sitter next week, and we have to talk about why that happened. Joe Segala finishes 16th. Mike Allen all the way back in 17th after starting up near the front. John Wilson in the 75 machine was in 4th place as they came to take the white flag and got a little bit of a tag from Belke going across the line. Ended up finishing a lap down because he didn't make it back around at the end of that race, and that is what put Chris Davis up into the 15th position. Lowell Jewell, with that new number 2 on the side, finishes in 19th. Bobby Hayes, 20th. Jeffrey Kemper, not so happy tonight in 21st, and Jason Menda rounds out our field in 22nd.
With that said, I get the honor and pleasure of talking to our race winner. Hoosinators, everybody be happy for Matt Hoos. He got himself a win. Matt, I don't know if it's wire to wire when you actually lose the lead for a quarter, but I guess it's wire to wire, huh?
Oh, man. I tell you what, this feels like the first race. I've had a lot of them over the years, but it's been a long time. And then to hold off JR and actually do a crossover on JR and get the lead back and hold off Kenny, holy crap.
Tell me about the over-under move. When did you think it was going to work?
I had no idea it was going to work. He was way faster on entry than me, and I said, well, Kenny's coming, so I'm going to try this and see if it works, and I'll be darned if it didn't.
Matt, you know a lot about the cars and how they race. Last night we did a race at this very same track in the SK Modifieds, and it was a nightmare. The drivers, it was almost undrivable. Cars were spinning, self-spins left and right. Seems like the late model seemed to adapt to this place better.
Yeah, there's something about the setups this season. We're not sure what it is. All them cars, the SKs seem to be handling different than the seasons past. But just in the middle, those SKs want to jump sideways for some reason. So it just takes some getting used to. And I think here pretty soon, guys will start getting used to that, and we'll start seeing some better races in them SKs.
We'll get you out of here on this one. While you're out in front, how much standing watching do you do? Do you see what's going on? Do you keep an eye on where Kibbe and where Shepard is, and you watch them coming up, or you just worried about going forward?
No, I wasn't watching at all. I was trying to save my tires, but yet go fast, and we had enough cautions where I didn't have to worry about that. But just to tell you how much I wasn't paying attention, I thought JR was Kenny. I was like, oh, Kenny caught me. And I'm like, oh, no, that's JR, because he had the pink car tonight. So I had no idea who was where. So,
getting confused from color, so I can relate to that. All right, congratulations, Matt. It's nice to see you win. 5th different winner of the season. We'll see you down the road.
Hey, thanks. And thanks to Gargamel's Kitchen, BRL, all the guys here. It's just a lot of fun. Good job up in the booth, as always, guys.
Let the fiance know you're a winner tonight, okay?
Yeah, I think I heard her screaming from the living room.
All right. See you down the road, buddy. Matt Hoos, our winner tonight. 5th different winner this season. All right, Ricky, you ran down Kenny Kibbe?
That's right. Kenny Kibbe makes up 9 spots tonight. And Kenny, you get to interview me on Tuesday nights in a pretty good racing league, so it's only fitting I get to interview you in the BRL on Saturday night. Talk about that lap 60 restart. You had to restart in 4th position on the outside, and a lot of people had trouble making that work, but you made it work.
Yeah, you get an opportunity of probably like 1, maybe 2 laps to make that outside work, and your only 2 bets are to, pinch off your opponent off the corner or maybe do like a crossover kind of move. But I kind of got lucky in that, JR was in second and he was really aggressive in getting down to clear into second on that bottom line, and it really checked up that inside line. And so I knew I had an opportunity to drive in deep on the high side and then try to clear basically out of the next corner. And if it wasn't going to work that time, it wasn't going to work at all. And got really lucky that happened to work out, and then we could set our sights forward. But yeah, the outside was really bad. I thought that maybe it would come in, because these cars like to build on the tight side, but they just couldn't carry any momentum off the top side at all. And I think that it kind of showed that the cars that spent a decent amount of time on the outside at any point in the race, they seemed to struggle in the second half. And it kind of showed that it was a bottom feeder track tonight.
For sure, and you saw a little bit of a battle going on between Hoos and J.R. Shepherd there late in the race, and we saw how J.R. Shepherd got stuck on that outside line and went back quite a few spots, but then you were all over Hoos like white on rice for a few laps. Did you think you were going to be able to get him?
Yeah, I mean, I knew time was of the essence. It had been an up and down day for me, so I had been through so much traffic and I've been driving hard the entire race, and Matt had started up front and just kind of rode there, so I knew that his tires were going to be in a better position than mine as far as tire wear goes. And so I really tried those first few laps, and eventually just got to the point where I was just kind of hanging with them, and then I just kind of fell off at the end. But I didn't even think I had a prayer of a top 3, 20 laps before that. So just to have an opportunity is pretty good.
Well, great run tonight. And who would you like to thank?
I'd just like to thank everybody at the Bootleg Racing League for coming together every week. We're getting really good car counts, which is nice to see. Like to thank everybody that rides on board with me on Twitch every week. You guys in the VGN broadcast booth for doing the great broadcasts every week as well. Quick shout out to my family that likes to watch every week. And we're just trying to ride this momentum. I think we're still on the top 5 streak, so it's been good so far.
There you have it. Second place finisher, Kenny Kibbe, protecting that point lead, finishing in the second position. Great run from him tonight, and I believe Soup is caught up with our third place finisher, Kurt Smith.
I got Kurt Smith. Kurt, it's always nice to finish on the podium. It's got to be a little sweeter when you got around J.R. Shepherd to get there. See if Kurt has a... We'll wait for give him a minute while he gets his mic set up. Kurt raced a lot. He was followed around the 22 for a long time, then he was able to get around that car, which is Bruce Pearson. That got him up into 4th, and Shepherd got around him. Then when the restart, Smith was able to get around Shepherd when Shepherd got stuck to the high side, and that's why we get to talk to Kurt. Here, we'll give him one more chance. Okay, you back there, Kurt? You got us?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Podiums are always great, but to get around Shepherd to get there has got to be fun.
Yeah, that's not something that normally happens. It's good racing with JR, but yeah, his car is pretty beat up, so it's still a miracle I passed him.
It's a pass, man. You also spent a lot of time behind the 22, and then you got that one made as well. You got to the inside, so Pearson was tough.
Yeah, Brees was running real good. It seemed like he was pushing his car a little bit, and I wanted to stay in an odd position, so I was kind of just riding behind him there, trying to save my stuff. Then when I saw JR coming, it's like, okay, it's time to start pushing a little bit more.
You raced last night, did you not?
Yeah, if you want to call it the SK a race.
Yeah, right.
It was pretty bad.
That's what I want to drill down on. What a difference between 24 hours, huh? That SK race and this one.
Yeah, the SK race didn't go too good for me, but I think starting on the outside, a lot of them restarts kind of helped me tonight on the few I had to start on the outside there.
Well, it's always nice to get to talk to you. Well done. It was a nice podium finish for you. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you very much. You guys have a good one.
Kurt Smith, you see him on screen right now in the number 6 as he finished in 3rd. Well, don't leave now because we got to talk about what's coming up. You like what you saw right now? We're going to do it again next week. It's going to be Saturday night, this very same time. But what's going to make it special, Ricky, is we're going to a track that I know nothing about. It's Kern County. I'm in California. For me, Kern County is like wine country. I don't know if that's exactly where I'm going. That's where I'm going to be. And if Kern County is somewhere else in the nation, then I may be late for this one. We're going to be there tomorrow, next week at this very same time. But before then, Tuesday night, it's the Pretty Good Racing League. Oh, no, they're off. There is no Pretty Good Racing League this week. So we're going to come all the way. You don't have to do on Tuesday night. You know why they're off? I think it's probably Halloween. They don't want to race on Halloween. They got candy to hand out. God, is anyone still watching this broadcast? Okay, I'm going to be done right now. So that means it's going to be Friday night for the SK Modifieds, and that's going to be at Kern County as well. By Saturday, I'll figure out where to be. So I'll be on the Saturday show. I might be late for the Friday show. That's it. But here's what you need to know. All the broadcasts, the future ones, the one that happened tonight, the ones in the past have all been a production of the Virtual Grip Network. With that said, somebody hand me the man's hat. There you go. Here's your hat. Until next time, have fun storming the castle.